Imagine waking up in the African savanna. No house, no clothes, no weapons, no fire. Just you. Around you, the grass stretches to the horizon. Every sound could mean danger. A rustle in the bushes, a distant roar, the shadow of something circling overhead. You look around. A lion is stronger than you. A cheetah is much faster. A leopard can climb trees with ease. A crocodile can crush bones with one bite. An elephant could kill you without even trying. Even a chimpanzee, your distant cousin, is nearly twice as strong as the average human. By almost every measure, humans are terrible animals. We don't have claws, we don't have fangs, we don't have armor, we don't have venom, we can't fly, we can't run particularly fast, we aren't even the best swimmers. If evolution is supposed to reward the strongest, then humans should never have become the dominant species on Earth. And yet today there are over 8 billion of us. We've built cities visible from space. We've crossed every ocean. We've walked on the moon. We've changed rivers. We've changed forests. We've even begun changing the climate of an entire planet. No lion has done that. No wolf, no bear, no shark, no predator in Earth's history has ever transformed the world on the scale that humans have. So here's the question. How did the weakest hunter become the greatest predator the planet has ever known? The answer isn't about strength. It's about something far more powerful. To understand it, we have to travel back millions of years to a time when humans were nothing more than frightened prey. If you could travel back about 4 million years, you wouldn't recognize your own ancestors. They weren't building cities. They weren't making tools. They weren't ruling the world. They were simply trying to survive. Our ancestors lived in Eastern Africa, where forests slowly gave way to open grasslands. The change in environment created both opportunities and terrifying dangers. In the trees, there had been safety. Branches offered protection from many predators. Food was often close at hand. But as forests shrank, our ancestors were forced into open landscapes. Out there, they became exposed. Imagine standing in tall grass barely taller than your waist. You can't see what's hiding just a few meters away. Meanwhile, predators can smell you, hear you, watch you. Lions hunted the plains. Leopards stalked silently through the brush. Hyenas traveled in powerful clans. Massive snakes waited in ambush. Even giant eagles were capable of carrying away young children. For millions of years, humans weren't the hunters. We were on the menu. Every day was a contest between life and death. Most young animals never reached adulthood, and our ancestors were no exception. If they made one mistake, they didn't get another chance. At this point in history, nothing suggested humans would ever dominate the Earth. In fact, many scientists believe our ancestors came dangerously close to extinction more than once. Human evolution wasn't guaranteed. It was incredibly fragile. One drought, one disease, one unlucky generation, and our story might have ended before it truly began. So what changed? Why didn't humans disappear like countless other species? The answer wasn't bigger muscles. It wasn't sharper teeth. It was a completely different strategy. Most animals survive by improving their bodies. A tiger evolves stronger muscles. An eagle evolves sharper eyesight. A gazelle evolves faster legs. Nature constantly upgrades physical abilities. Humans took another path. Instead of becoming physically stronger, our ancestors became mentally stronger. The human brain is extraordinary. It only makes up about 2% of your body weight, yet it consumes roughly 20% of your body's energy. That's an enormous investment. Evolution doesn't waste energy. If a brain becomes that expensive, it must provide an incredible advantage, and it did. Our ancestors became better at recognizing patterns. They could remember where food grew during different seasons. They learned which animals were dangerous. They remembered safe paths across the landscape. They began solving problems instead of simply reacting to them. Imagine finding a pile of rocks. Most animals walk past them. A human ancestor might notice something different. One rock has an unusually sharp edge. That edge cuts meat better. Another rock breaks open bones. Another cracks nuts. Slowly, our ancestors began seeing possibilities where other animals saw ordinary objects. This ability changed everything, because the moment intelligence began replacing instinct, evolution itself changed direction. Instead of waiting thousands of generations for stronger claws, humans could solve today's problems today. A sharp stone could become a claw. A branch could become a spear. The body no longer determined survival. When most people hear the word technology, they imagine computers, robots, or smartphones. But technology is much older than that. The first technology was probably nothing more than a shaped stone. Around 2.6 million years ago, our ancestors started making simple stone tools. They deliberately struck one rock against another to create sharp cutting edges. This may sound simple, but it represented one of the greatest turning points in Earth's history. Think about a lion. A lion is born with everything it will ever have: its claws, its teeth, its strength, its hunting ability. A lion born today isn't fundamentally different from one born thousands of years ago. Humans are different. Every invention becomes the starting point for the next invention. A sharpened stone becomes a hand axe. The hand axe inspires better tools. Better tools create new ideas. Knowledge begins to stack, generation after generation. Unlike biological evolution, technology doesn't need millions of years. It can improve in decades or even days. This meant humans could adapt faster than almost any other animal. If food changed, we invented new tools. If predators became a problem, we developed better weapons. If climates shifted, we changed our behavior. Instead of waiting for evolution, we became our own engineers. It was a revolutionary advantage. But there was still one enormous obstacle. Even with tools, the world remained terrifying after sunset, because when darkness arrived, the greatest hunters came alive, and humans still had no answer for the night, until one discovery changed everything forever. For millions of years, the sun determined when life began and when it ended. When darkness fell, humans became vulnerable. Lions could see in the dark. Leopards hunted silently through the night. Hyenas roamed in powerful packs. The night belonged to predators. Our ancestors had only one option: hide and hope they survived until sunrise. Then, everything changed. At some point, perhaps over 1 million years ago, our ancestors did something no other animal had ever accomplished. They learned to control fire. At first, they probably didn't create it. Lightning strikes and wildfires naturally ignited forests across Africa. Most animals fled. Humans became curious. Instead of running away forever, they stayed. They watched, they experimented. Eventually, they learned to carry burning branches, then to keep fires alive, and finally, to create fire whenever they needed it. It is difficult to overstate how revolutionary this was. Fire wasn't just another tool. It completely rewrote humanity's relationship with nature. For the first time, darkness no longer belonged only to predators. A campfire became a wall. Its light exposed approaching danger. Its heat kept people alive during cold nights. Its flames frightened many animals that had hunted humans for millions of years. Imagine a pride of lions approaching a group of early humans. 100,000 years earlier, the outcome would have been obvious. The humans would scatter. Some would die. But now, the lions stop. Between them burns a wall of fire, something they cannot understand, something they instinctively avoid. For the first time, the balance of fear had begun to shift. Humans were no longer completely defenseless. Fire gave humans something even more valuable than protection. It gave them cooked food. Today, cooking feels ordinary, but biologically, it was revolutionary. Raw meat is difficult to chew. Raw plants often require enormous effort to digest. Cooking changes that. Heat softens food, breaks down tough fibers, kills dangerous bacteria and parasites, and allows the body to extract more energy using less effort. This created a remarkable chain reaction. Because digestion became easier, the body spent less energy processing food. That extra energy could be invested somewhere else: the brain. Over countless generations, human brains continued growing larger and more complex. With larger brains came better memory, better planning, better communication, better problem solving, and better cooperation. Fire also extended the day. Before fire, activity largely ended when the sun disappeared. Now people gathered around campfires. They talked, shared experiences, taught children, passed knowledge from one generation to another. Many anthropologists believe this may have been where storytelling truly began. Imagine a child sitting beside a fire, listening as an elder explains where dangerous lions hunt, which berries are poisonous, or how to shape a spear. That child didn't have to learn everything through painful experience. Knowledge could be inherited. The campfire became humanity's first classroom. and education would become one of our greatest weapons. Now imagine hunting a mammoth by yourself. It's impossible. The animal weighs several tons. It's larger, stronger, and far more dangerous than you. But what if there were 20 humans or 50? Suddenly, everything changes. Most predators cooperate to some degree. Wolves hunt in packs. Lions coordinate attacks. Orcas work together. But human cooperation is fundamentally different. A wolf pack rarely grows beyond a few dozen members. Humans can cooperate with hundreds, thousands, millions, even billions. Think about a modern city. Millions of strangers wake up every morning, yet somehow, food appears in supermarkets. Electricity flows through homes. Roads remain connected. Airplanes fly safely. Hospitals function. None of these people know each other personally, yet they cooperate through shared systems, shared rules, and shared beliefs. That ability didn't begin with civilization. It began long before cities existed. Early humans hunted together, protected one another, shared food, cared for injured members of the group. This last point is especially important. Archaeologists have discovered ancient human skeletons belonging to individuals who survived severe injuries for years. Broken legs, missing teeth, crushed bones. Alone, these people would have died. Instead, someone fed them, protected them, waited for them to recover. That level of long-term care is extraordinarily rare in nature. It meant humans became stronger together than any individual could ever become alone. Our greatest weapon was never the spear. It was each other's cooperation. Most people assume humans became great hunters by becoming faster. But that's exactly what didn't happen. Compared to many animals, humans are slow. A cheetah can reach speeds over 100 kilometers per hour. A horse easily outruns us. Even many deer are dramatically faster. So how could humans ever catch them? The answer is one of evolution's most remarkable tricks: endurance. Humans aren't built for sprinting. We're built for persistence. Unlike most mammals, humans sweat across nearly their entire bodies. Sweating allows us to cool ourselves efficiently during long periods of movement. Many animals cool themselves by panting. That works well for short bursts of activity. But after running for long periods, their bodies begin overheating. Humans keep going. Imagine a deer grazing peacefully. A group of hunters appears. The deer bolts away. Minutes later, it slows down. The humans are still walking, not sprinting, simply following. The deer runs again. Hours pass. The sun grows hotter. Its muscles tire. Its body temperature rises. The hunters never stop. Again, the deer runs. Again, the humans continue. Eventually, the deer can no longer escape. It collapses from exhaustion, not because humans were faster, but because humans refused to quit. This technique is known today as persistence hunting. It still survives among a few traditional hunting societies. It's one of the clearest examples of humans winning not through strength, but through patience, planning, and endurance. Nature had produced countless powerful predators, but almost none could hunt like this. It was a strategy built not on muscle, but on intelligence. And humanity was only getting started, because soon, our ancestors would create a weapon that completely changed the rules of hunting forever. For almost every predator on Earth, hunting is dangerous. A lion can be kicked by a zebra. A wolf can be gored by a bison. Even a crocodile risks injury every time it attacks. In nature, getting hurt can mean death. A broken leg, a damaged jaw, a deep wound. These injuries often become fatal because an injured predator can't hunt. For millions of years, humans faced the same problem. Even with sharpened sticks, getting close to large animals was incredibly risky. Then came one of the greatest inventions in human history, the throwing spear. Instead of standing within reach of a dangerous animal, humans could attack from a safe distance. It was a simple idea, but it completely changed the balance of power. Distance became a weapon. A mammoth weighing 6 tons no longer had to be wrestled. A dangerous boar no longer had to be cornered. Humans could strike, retreat, and strike again. Thousands of years later, this idea evolved even further. The spear thrower, the atlatl, then eventually the bow and arrow. For the first time, humans could kill with incredible accuracy from dozens of meters away. No claws, no fangs, no massive muscles, just intelligence transformed into technology. Every improvement made hunting safer. Every improvement made humans more effective. And unlike biological evolution, these improvements could happen within a single lifetime. One person's invention became everyone's advantage. That is something no other predator has ever achieved. Imagine trying to teach someone how to build a spear without language. You could point, you could demonstrate, but explaining complex ideas would be almost impossible. Now imagine language. Suddenly, knowledge doesn't disappear when one individual dies. It spreads. Early humans developed something extraordinary: complex communication. Words became tools, stories became lessons, ideas became shared. A hunter could explain where lions slept. An elder could teach children how to recognize poisonous plants. One generation could pass discoveries to the next. Animals learn. Humans accumulate knowledge. That's the difference. A wolf born today still hunts much like wolves hunted thousands of years ago. Humans today fly airplanes, perform surgery, build satellites, and explore space. Because every generation begins where the previous one ended. Knowledge stacks. One discovery leads to another. Stone tools become bronze tools. Bronze becomes iron. Iron becomes steel. Steel becomes machines. Machines become computers. This process is called cumulative culture. It's one of the greatest advantages humans possess. We don't have to reinvent civilization every generation. We inherit it. Every child born today begins life with thousands of years of accumulated knowledge waiting for them. That made human progress faster than evolution itself. Around 70,000 years ago, something remarkable happened. Humans began leaving Africa. Small groups started exploring unfamiliar lands. They crossed deserts, climbed mountains, followed rivers. Eventually, they reached Europe, Asia, Australia, the islands of the Pacific, and finally, the Americas. No other large land animal has ever spread across the planet this successfully. Wherever humans arrived, they adapted. Cold climates, hot climates, dense forests, open plains, frozen tundra. Instead of evolving different bodies for each environment, humans changed their tools. In icy regions, they made warm clothing. Near oceans, they built boats. In forests, they crafted different hunting weapons. Technology replaced biology. This allowed humans to thrive almost everywhere on Earth. And wherever they settled, the environment began to change. As humans spread across new continents, they encountered animals that had never seen anything like them. Giant ground sloths, woolly mammoths, enormous kangaroos, giant flightless birds, massive predators. Many of these animals had evolved without human hunters. They didn't recognize humans as a serious threat. That proved disastrous. Scientists continue to debate exactly how much humans contributed to the extinction of many large animals. Climate change also played a role, but there's little doubt that human hunting placed enormous pressure on many species. For the first time in Earth's history, one predator was influencing ecosystems on a continental scale. Humans didn't simply hunt individual animals. They altered food chains, changed habitats, affected entire environments. The natural world had never encountered anything like this. Humans had become more than predators. They had become ecosystem engineers. About 12,000 years ago, another transformation began. Instead of following animals, humans began growing food. Agriculture changed everything. At first glance, farming doesn't seem related to becoming an apex predator, but in reality, it multiplied human power more than almost any previous invention. Reliable food meant larger populations. Larger populations meant more workers. More workers meant larger villages. Villages became towns. Towns became cities. Cities became civilizations. Civilizations created governments, trade, writing, science, engineering, armies. Every major civilization in history was built upon agriculture. Food created stability. Stability created innovation. Innovation accelerated human dominance. No longer were humans simply surviving in nature. Now they were reshaping it. Forests became farmland. Rivers were redirected. Animals were domesticated. Entire landscapes were transformed to meet human needs. At this point, humans were no longer just another species competing for survival. They had become the dominant force on Earth. So, why did humans become the apex predator? It wasn't because we were stronger. A gorilla is stronger. It wasn't because we were faster. A cheetah is faster. It wasn't because we had better natural weapons. Almost every predator has sharper teeth, stronger jaws, or deadlier claws. Instead, humans succeeded because we discovered a different kind of power. We learned to think, we learned to cooperate, we learned to communicate, we learned to invent. Every tool solved a problem. Every discovery became the foundation for another. Every generation inherited the knowledge of the one before it. No other animal has mastered this process on the same scale. Our greatest weapon was never the spear. It was the human mind, and perhaps even more importantly, the ability for millions of minds to work together. Today, the evidence is everywhere. We have crossed every ocean, climbed the highest mountains, reached the deepest parts of the sea, walked on the moon, sent spacecraft beyond our solar system, connected billions of people through invisible networks, changed the chemistry of the atmosphere itself. No predator in Earth's 4.5 billion year history has ever possessed this level of influence. But with that power comes responsibility. Being the apex predator doesn't simply mean winning. It means deciding what kind of future we create. Will we protect the ecosystems that allowed us to evolve? Will we use our intelligence to solve the problems we've created? Or will the very abilities that made us successful become our greatest weakness? The story of humanity is still being written, and for the first time in Earth's history, the future of countless species, including our own, depends on the choices of a single animal. An animal with no claws, no fangs, no armor, just an extraordinary brain and the ability to imagine a future before it exists. That, more than anything else, is what made humans the apex predator.